Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of World Building with DMDave. In this episode, I am actually going to be working more on a little bit different stuff coming for my upcoming book, Pexia's Guide to Emeria. It's a campaign setting I've had for a couple years that we're actually kickstarting on. So, the one that I've been building, we're going to put a little pause on, but I'm going to introduce some more interesting things for you that can hopefully be useful in the development of your own campaign worlds. One thing I want to do tonight is I actually just received this pretty awesome sketch for one of my subclasses called the Stone Arms. I have a city within Emeria called Castle Grasp where their paladins are tied very closely to the elemental plane of earth, at which point their arms actually become stone and they can use it to defend themselves. I've created this subclass before, but it's been a couple years, so I wanted to tighten it up a little bit. I'm going to grab 3 books from my collection, which are going to help me kind of guide me in the development of this subclass and kind of take you through the process of planning this whole thing out. So I've got the Player's Handbook. I'm also going to grab the brand new Tasha's Guide to Everything, or Tasha's Cauldron, and Xanathars, which I think I've got down here. And these 3 books are going to help me figure out how to keep everything balanced. Alright, so I've got a new page open up. So most of your subclasses, if you want to ever develop them, nice, I flipped right to the Paladin page in PHP. You can really just look at kind of what already exists, and the basic format of them is always going to be kind of the same. Paladin subclasses are generally called oaths, so this is going to be Oath of the Stone Arm. And then usually there's a little bit of like fluff, so I'm going to use that as a placeholder here. And I'm going to go ahead and put in my markdowns. Those 2 hashes like that means that it's going to be, actually it should be 3. Is going to be a heading 3. So in like 5th edition, that's generally a heading that's got an underline. It's usually followed immediately by some fluff. Then interestingly, paladins always have tenets, which are usually 3 to 4 rules by which they have to live. So we're going to say tenets of the Stone Arms. And we'll put that in there. It's probably going to be some stuff tied directly to the lore of it. I'll just put another placeholder there for now. Oaths also get spells, it looks like, so let's go ahead and do that. Oath spells. And we're going to go ahead and copy some of the text that's in there real quick. This is the typical text that's going to follow. It's going to say, you gain oath spells at the paladin levels listed. Just want to, it looks like all paladins get bonus spells. It looks like 2 different bonus spells that aren't normally on their list. Next up, a paladin, they get that from 1st level on. Next up, they get Channel Divinity, which is their 3rd level power. So Tasha's Cauldron of Everything changed the way that it was done. So originally in the book, it would tell you in the text what level you'd get it at, but Tasha's Cauldron started annotating the actual level. So we're going to say 3rd level Oath of the Stone Arms feature. I'm going to do 3. That's going to make a it's going to make a hard break without an indent following it in terms of markdown. So when I put this into GM Binder, it's going to do that. I'll go ahead and put asterisks around this, which will italicize it, and then we'll figure out what we want here. So what I'm doing here, kind of start from the beginning, is I'm laying all this out first so I can get a look at what I need to fill in and think about. I don't do a ton of planning with what I write, but I do like to kind of lay it all out, so then it's just a matter of like asking myself the answers to questions. So for example, like for the Oath of the Stone Arms, what story fluff should I put in there? What should its tenets be? What oath spells do I need to have? What should its Channel Divinity feature have? So all paladins have 2 different Channel Divinity options. So I'm actually going to go ahead and write that first bit of text there. You gain the following 2 Channel Divinity options. and then we'll come in and I'll put my etc. there. It gets a 7th level feature, so I don't know what to call that yet. We'll just call it TBD. I'm just going to copy this. All right, and then we're going to go, we got a 15th level feature after that, so I'm just going to cut and paste this real quick. And then there is the 20th level feature. Really unique to Paladins is they get a 20th level feature which acts as their major end cap power. It's typically pretty powerful and usually involves some sort of like change. Alright, so here we've got everything in place for the structure of this subclass, and that's just a matter of filling in the details. So what you generally need to do is you need to look at kind of what exists and then try to keep it balanced, mostly based on any additional damage output that's going to be doing, because the game's very much balanced on two things, damage output and defensive capabilities. I foresee this as being mostly a defensive, being the stone arms. I think in the past, like they can use their arm as like a shield, so they don't have to wear shields. So you usually throw that in there as kind of a bonus ability. Want to give them some spells that are kind of like a little bit more earthy. Probably some crowd control stuff is usually pretty good on the earth side of things. Let's see what else we got balance wise. And I'm looking kind of in the PHB for now, but really Tasha's is the latest book, and because it's the latest, it's going to be like a little bit more powerful than the past ones, just by the nature of how these books are designed. It's called book creep, where you entice people by making things just a little bit cooler than the last edition. But I like to start from the beginning and kind of see what we've got. All right, so actually I'll look at Ancients. Ancients has some pretty good crowd control stuff. Ensnaring Strike, Speak with Animals. Well, that's more fluff. This is its spells. Misty Step, which helps them get out of situations. Moonbeam, which is a really good crowd control spell. Plant Growth, which is an amazingly overpowered crowd control spell. Protection from Energy. Ice Storm, crowd control. Stone Skin, we'll probably end up giving our guy that because it makes sense, obviously. Commune with Nature and Tree Stride. So that's that. Channel Divinity for Oath of Ancients. You get to use Channel Divinity to invoke primeval forces, to ensnare a foe. So again, more crowd control. Strength saving throw and it gets grappled. So basically, they get entangled as a Channel Divinity. Turn the Faithless. Fae and Fiends present Holy Symbol. So basically turning a Fae or a Fiend away. So like a Cleric's Fae. Okay. 7th level is the Aura level, generally, I think. So they get the Aura of Warding, which gives resistance to spells. And then it usually goes up after that. So it's pretty powerful. Really good defensive feature. So we'll have to remember that a 7th level is when you get sort of the support, which ends up boosting your auras. I think the Xanathar's ones have similar. Undying Sentinel. When you reduce to 0, basically it's like Relentlessness from Orcs. You drop to 0 and you get this to come back. Also, you don't age. And then Elder Champion is sort of the boost. So, the fluff for this is when you get to be of a certain point as one of the Castle Grasping Stone Arms, is that you ultimately become an elemental. So we're probably going to make that our 20th one. We're going to call it Avatar of Gasta Rock. I think that's the name of their god. Let's go ahead and start building this out to see what it is. Alright, so 20th level, the stone arm can assume the form of an earth elemental. let's see, using your action, you undergo a transformation for 1 minute. You gain the following benefits. Okay. So I've taken sort of some of the text from the ancients, since it has kind of similar what I want to do. One of the best things you want to do when you're trying to get the rules lingo right for writing new 5th edition content is to see kind of what exists and like alter it as needed. So that's what I'm doing here. At the start of each, so this is what the Elder Champion gets. It gets, start of each your turn, you regain 10 hit points. So they got sort of a natural ability to basically regeneration. Whenever you cast a Paladin, whenever you cast a Paladin spell that has a casting time of 1 action, cast it using a bonus action, so they're faster. Enemy creatures within 10 feet of you has disadvantage on saving throws against your Paladin spells. And channel divinity options. So in a lot of ways, this is similar to like almost like a 9th level spell is what we're looking at here. It really reminds me of the spell Foresight in terms of like some of the benefits that you get. Maybe not as powerful as Foresight, but if you're not familiar with Foresight is a spell that duration, this is for 8 hours. Target can't be surprised and has advantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws. Additionally, other creatures have disadvantage on attack rolls against target. Probably a little bit less because, one, the casting time's a minute for this. Well, I mean, the duration's 8 hours without concentration. That's pretty big. I would say maybe even an 8th level spell level is what we're looking at with the Elder Champion. If we look at the Avenging Angel feature for the Oath of Vengeance, you can see kind of similar. You end up getting a flying speed of 60 feet. You emanate an aura of menace for 30-foot radius. Anytime an enemy enters aura, they got to succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become frightened for 1 minute. And there's no repeat save until it takes disadvantage. Furthermore, it says like they don't get resistance to it. And then attack rolls against a frightened creature have advantage. So again, very similar to Foresight. This one actually lasts for an hour. So I'm going to say it's going to be like kind of on par with an 8th level spell. So at which point, and this is all it is, you just got to figure out like what it's saying between the lines. And in these cases, these 20th level capstone abilities for paladins are going to be like spells. So I'm going to go to Don John so I can kind of like organize my thoughts here. And so I'm going to go to the spell sheet. And I'm going to see kind of what kind of spells. Let's go ahead and look at, I'm just going to reverse the level real quick. Look at my transmutation spells, maybe some of my evocations. Shape change, time stop, true polymorph. Actually, abjuration might be good since these guys are going to be pretty tough. Imprisonment, invulnerability, prismatic wall, anti-magic field, holy aura. Guards and war. Let's say this. Let's give it like stone skin is pretty good, but I think it has maybe give it like immunity. Okay, so you get resistance with stone skin, but I think like we'll do you gain immunity to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage made by non-magical attacks. Okay, so that's pretty powerful right there, but that's fine. Remember, this is for 1 minute. We want to give it some other functions that are pretty cool. They got the faster casting time for Elder Champion. Let's look at Tasha's and see kind of like where the parity is going to be with that for the new Paladin subclasses in there. I think there's 2 new ones in here. One of them is like, oh gosh, I can't remember. I'm never a player, so I never know what crazy shit they've got in here. We've got Oath of the Watchers, and their They turn into, for 1 minute, they gain True Sight, advantage on attack rolls against Aberration, pretty much outsiders. And when you hit a creature with an attack roll and deal damage, you can also force it to make a Charisma save or banish. Okay, it's pretty good. And then Living Legend is for Oath of Glory. Unless with otherworldly presence, you get advantage on charisma checks so that's like glibness. Once on each of your turns, when you make a weapon attack and miss, you can cause that attack to hit instead. If you fail a saving throw, you can use your reaction to reroll it. Okay. How about Glide? So Earth Glide is pretty cool, and that's 20th level shit right there. So we'll say, who has Earth Glide? Earth Elemental 5e. We're just going to go ahead and copy that. I think it's like basically you can move through unworked earth and stone. Yeah, we're just going to copy this. You can burrow through non-magical. While doing so, let's see, you gain a burrow speed equal to your walking speed. Additionally, you can burrow through non-magical unworked earth. I think that's right. Let me see. Yep. Okay, cool. So basically that, and then what else do Earth Elementals have? Well, why don't we just look at our Earth Elementals here. You deal double damage to objects and structures. Alright, so there's our 20th level capstone there. I think that's pretty good. Immunity to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. A burrow speed, which gives a lot of utility. And then you deal double damage to objects and structures. So really useful for like storming places and kind of shit that you would do at 20th level. And let's make sure we get the last bit. Let's see. Using your action, you undergo a transformation. Let's say bonus action. Once you use this bonus action, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. Interestingly, they add in the thing about unless you expend a 5th level spell slot to use it again. Okay, cool. You expend. That looks like a new Tasha's thing, but that's pretty cool. Alright, there we go. So now it's going to assume the form of Earth Melon. So, alright, so that's how we write a 20th level cap. That gives us our first feature there. I'm going to go ahead and end this video here, but next time we're going to continue to build our Paladin Stone Arm, and I'm going to lead you through the process on how to do that to create a flavorful subclass just for your world. Anyways, I hope this has been informative. I'm going to post this in the links probably when I'm done so you can take a look at everything that I've been writing, and I will see you in our next video. Peace. Oh, like, subscribe, and also I've put the link to the Kickstarter coming up on May 5th down in the comments, so make sure that you go ahead and follow so that you can get 20% off when we go live on May the 5th at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Anyways, peace.